Thanks for joining me today. This is the first in a series of short videos, very short videos, I hope, where I'll be looking at some Scottish proverbs. But key thing is I'll be looking at those to see where the wisdom is and to help us to live life in a better, more fulfilling way. So, one thing you'll notice about Scottish proverbs as we go through this series is that there is quite a combination there of wisdom, but also humour. And that combination is, I think, a very Scottish thing. So hopefully as I go through these proverbs, the ones that are interesting, it'll help you to think about those in a bit more depth, and it'll help me certainly as well. So first one, the one that I remember from growing up as a kid. There's many a good tune played on an old fiddle. There's many a good tune played on an old fiddle. I loved that when I was growing up. I didn't actually know what it meant, but now I do. And basically, it's getting us to reflect upon the fact that as we get older, things can change. So as we get older, we tend to slow down. We might have aches and pains where we didn't have aches and pains before. We might gather up a few more illnesses that we might struggle with. All of those things happen as we grow older. And that's a natural part of growing older. And sometimes I think that in our culture, we almost have a culture of youth, or a cult of youth, should I say, where we look at being young as being the high point, the zenith of where we're going. When in actual fact, as we get older, there's so much more that we can do. There's so much more that we can look at. There's so much more that we can learn. So as we get older, the challenge then is to accept of those negative things that happen and say, okay, well, that's part of what we're going through. But also to take out of that these really important lessons that life is there to be lived. Life is there to be lived. There's nothing that you can say that goes beyond that in a sense. So as you get older, you can use your experience from your youthful indiscretions and things that you might have made mistakes with. You can do all of that and you can put that together and you can look at life much more holistically. So you're looking at life in the round, if you like. So that then is something I think is really, really important for when we get older. Getting older isn't about getting closer to death. It's about using what we have in the here and the now and of finding meaning in whatever it is that we're doing. That's the challenge. But it's also where, if you like, the gold is. Because when we're young, we don't have that ability to reflect that we might have as we get older. We see things differently. So that's a real positive. So there is many a good tune played on an old fiddle. And that's a lesson for all of us as we age. We've all aged since we started looking at this video, or if you're me making the video. So we need to take that and use it to our advantage, to think about what it is that we've learned, to think about what it is that we can do differently, to do things in a way that are positive and constructive and also meaningful. And therefore, if you don't remember any other Scottish proverbs, this one is the one to remember because I think it's absolutely fantastic.